Good morning, 5th grade. Welcome to ELA West, or whatever ELA West looks like for you. So we're going to start today on page 112. We're going to jump into those blue books and go through the Learn section. I really miss your energy and all the enthusiasm you bring to our grammar work, and so it's just not going to be quite the same with me doing it here by myself, but I hope that you guys can still find a way to make it fun while you're at home. So we're looking at page 112. In our lesson this week, we're going to do two sections that are both about irregular verbs. Some of you earlier in the month when we were still together had a few questions about some verbs that had the past tense be something weird, like dream. The past tense of dream is sometimes dreamed, but it's sometimes dreamt. And so we don't quite understand what was going on there when we saw it a couple weeks ago. But this week we're really going to be able to see why those verbs have different endings and how we're going to be able to form them on our own. So on page 112 we see that little paragraph at the top with that blue bullet point. Regular verbs form the past tense by adding ed. Give yourself a thumbs up if you already knew that, because most of you already did. Irregular verbs do not add ed to form the past tense. Their spellings change in the past tense and in the past with has, have, or had. Now think for a minute about what kinds of verb forms might use has, have, or had. Maybe look back in those blue books and find some of those tenses. Maybe they're on page 104 that use has, have, and had. Those are the perfect tenses. So with that in mind, we can see a couple of examples of the word write. Most of you already know that write doesn't quite work out the same way that other verbs do when we put it in the past tense. So when it's in the present tense, it would be something like Tim and May write about animal journeys. Got it. We definitely already knew that. But in the past tense, they wrote their paper last week. You probably already knew that, so give yourself a thumbs up if you knew that. But if you have it with have, so this would be one of our perfect tenses, the students have written a good report. So watch out for that written there. I've seen some of our writing and some of us definitely have that down, and some of us maybe need to practice it a little bit. So here we are, we're looking at this table. Throughout the whole lesson, all of the verbs you're going to see in these blanks and all of the verbs that they are going to want you to use in your writing exercise at the end of the week are going to come from this table. So practice on your own going through begin, began, begun. Take your finger and track it all the way across the page as you watch each of those verbs. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through, for example, today's assignment is practice A. You're going to read the directions. You're going to take a look at, say, number 1. Autumn blank on September 21st. Now I see in the parentheses I need to choose between two words. And what I need to do there is I need to find began, begin, begun on my chart. So it's backwards because it's a video, but it's right at the top here. So when you find that, you're going to take a look back at your sentence, decide what form you need, present, past, or using has, have, or had, and then you fit that one into the blank. So autumn blank on September 21st. Well, it's definitely talking not about right now, it's talking about a time in the past. It's not using has, have, or had, so I know it must be began. As you work through practice A, use that same strategy. Figure out which word you need to look at in your chart, and then go into that word and decide, is it present, is it past, is it using has, have, or had, and that's how you decide which form to use. That's going to be the strategy that's going to carry you through this whole week, and I hope that you have a wonderful time, maybe make a little bit of a game out of it, maybe take an opportunity to teach your little sibling about these irregular verbs. But your assignment for today is to finish practice A, and practice B, which is page 112 and 113 in those blue books. I'll be back tomorrow to give you the answers. Have a great day, 5th grade.